Alright guys, what is going on? Let's settle back, settle in, because this podcast, I guarantee you, will be long. I say this since episode 1, and I have yet to hit around 30-minute mark, and I don't know why. I write so many notes, but you know what? I'm talking about that. Let's get into the show, actually. So let's go. Alright, so if you guys were wondering, I know I said episode 10, we did the AL division predictions for the 2017-2018 season or whatever, and today we're supposed to do the NL, but I forgot about the trade deadline was this week, and I changed that to do next week. So episode 12 we will do the National League division standings, but before we get into the trade deadline, because there's a lot to talk about, we're going to get into the quick MLB news. There was some interesting things. So I want to say, oh man, how happy I am. Spring training officially started today, the day I'm recording this on Friday, and we saw a game between the Yankees and the Phillies. The Yankees beat the Phillies, I believe it was 9-4. And also, the Nationals made it official. They have officially signed catcher Matt Wieters. So they've got a decent catching staff, I guess you could say. They got Matt Wieters, and I think they got a Daniel Norris. I think that's his name. I mean, if I butchered his name, my bad, Nationals fans. But I know you guys know what I'm talking about. So there's one thing, major thing that I want to talk about out of the MLB this week. The rule changes, the quickening of pace. That is what pisses me off. At what point are we going to say, this is the game? It's been played like this for so long, and it's still good. It's great to watch. So why change it to quicken the pace so people can get home and beat the traffic? No. This is how I've always thought of it. I'm paying at sometimes, a decent amount to go to one of these games and sit there and enjoy myself and watch my favorite sport. Why would I want to last and only be there for like 2 hours or something like that? No, if you're like a big MLB fan and you want to sit there and experience everything, you want to stay there. To me, honestly, I would spend a day out of it. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I would, drive all the way up to now, which was Cobb County now. I live in Atlanta, so, drive all the way up there now and, eat some lunch, hang out, then watch the game, and it's great. Great time. I mean, really. I don't know why you want to quicken the pace. I know things are changing. It's 2017. I just don't think everything needs to be sped up. We are not watching fucking. I don't know. Let's get out of that. So I think some of the things are. Let's see. Automation of the intentional walks. I have no idea what that means. I did not read more into it because I looked at a lot of different sources, but I couldn't find really what it meant. A pitch clock. Don't really know if I like that. I understand they do sometimes, they take a while, but still, we get a rage strike zone. I do think that'll make for a lot more home runs, but then a lot more higher ERAs, if that's what I'm thinking. And it really will make it to where less batters will take pitches out of the strike zone. So that's a little bit, I don't know how I like that. I don't know how I feel about that. I just want to keep the game the way it is. I mean, and like I said, I like it the way it is. Why change it? The greatest thing I saw out of this whole thing was when Brandon Moss said on Twitter, I believe it was, quote, "I'm just very glad I will not be playing this game in 10 years. It won't be recognizable. It's going in a direction where it's not going to be the same game. Every year they keep trying to think of some stupid new rule. It's getting old." And damn it, I totally agree. The one where the hitters have to get back in the box, I do like that, but some things, you just leave it the way it is. That's how it's been played. That's how I've always remembered watching it. Don't fucking change it. Okay, let's get out of that subject before I get a little bit more pissed. NBA trade deadline. Ooh, and for the guys who just wanted this, there'll be a timestamp down below. I said it a little bit too late, but I don't give up. I'll put it down in the description. But okay, here we go. I want to start out by saying that Denver did make a monster deal to try to bring in Paul George, but what I've heard was really Paul George didn't want to stay there for long term. I mean, you're only really renting him. Didn't realize, or why would they want to give up their young talent for a guy who you're just going to rent? And everybody knows he's going to LA next year. I wouldn't give it. I wouldn't give it up either. If he says yes, I'll resign. Yeah, maybe I'll think about it. But he said he's not going to resign. There's no reason to even trade for him. But I do like the idea of Joker and PG playing together. That'd be lethal. And really, Denver is in the 8th seed. At least I thought they were. They just beat the Nets, so maybe they still are. Which Nets? We'll get into the Nets because they got a trade with the Nets happen. But I don't know if giving up all that young talent and we get Paul George and don't make it to the playoffs, that'd be a total bust for me, being as a Denver Nuggets fan. So now let's officially get into the trades. I'm going to be honest. Normally the trade deadline is like one of those things like you're sitting at the edge of your seat. What's going to happen next? Really, there was one surprising trade on the day of the trade deadline. We'll get to that. But first, the Suns sent P.J. Tucker over to the Raptors for Jared Sullinger and 2 second-round draft picks. Tucker averaged around 7 points per game and 6 rebounds with the Suns this year. And the Suns get back Sullinger, who's averaging close to 4 points and close to 3 rebounds. I mean, here's the deal. I like the deal for the Raptors. P.J. Tucker, and now also they traded for Serge Ibaka. The Raptors look legit good. In that game they played against the Celtics that I just watched, man, P.J. Tucker and Serge Ibaka look nice in Raptors uniforms, and DeRozan did have his career high, so I don't know. They just beat the Celtics, so yeah, the East is going to be interesting. But one of the things I found interesting, I was on Sports Illustrated, and one of the things they reported was the players really wanted to trade for P.J. Tucker because they felt like they needed someone to guard the king. I don't know, I'm a big LeBron James fan. He's the damn king. I don't know if really P.J. Tucker can do anything about guarding LeBron James. But hey, I might be wrong. We'll wait to see what happens if they end up facing each other in the playoffs. Sullinger, though, for the Suns side of this deal, he still does have room to grow. He's only 24. And at sometimes with the Celtics, there was glimpses of him being good. But I don't know. I just felt like injuries and inconsistencies. I really didn't see that too much. But all around good deal for the Raptors. We'll get into the next trade what the Raptors did. They traded away Serge Ibaka for and some picks for Tyson Ross. So Magic get back Tyson Ross and some picks. And yeah, the Raptors got back Serge Ibaka. Like I said, when I made the video about this trade, Magic really had me leaving like, what the fuck. So they give up Victor Oladipo. Honestly, I thought it was going to be the future of the Magic. The dude's great. And they get Serge Ibaka. He was a rent. They were going to have him for a season. Then they turn around and then trade him for Tyson Ross. Now, don't get me wrong. Tyson Ross was good. He had a great 50-point game at one time, and he's a pretty good player. But I would not give up Victor Oladipo for all that. That's just me, though. Let me know your guys' thoughts. So the next trade. The biggest trade of the day. The biggest trade is later on in the podcast. But the biggest trade of the day was the Bulls trade Doug McBuckets. Or if you're a Denver Nuggets fan, you wanted it to be called Doug McNuggets, but that never got to happen. And Taj Gibson to the Thunder and a 2018 pick goes to the Thunder too, for Cameron Payne, Joffrey, can't say his last name, and Anthony Morrow. So Dougie McBuckets is averaging around 10 points. And Taj Gibson is a great player. He's played all 7 years with the Chicago Bulls. Really, obviously was a great presence in that locker room after all these people leaving, and really one of the veterans in the Chicago locker room. So I think that's a big impact on the locker room there after all the turmoil between the Rondo and Wade thing, all that stuff. Now Payne joins Crawford. Cameron Payne joins a crowded backcourt. he was getting no really chance to shine behind Russell Westbrook. Now he goes into Chicago with a really crowded backcourt. We got Dwayne Wade, shooting guard Rondo, point guard MCW point guard, and Jermaine Grant. I mean, their belief here is that Cameron Payne's going to have a bright future. I think he does, but I don't know. I mean, maybe he does have a bright future in Chicago uniform, but who knows? Laverne, I think that's his last name. I do not know. Is averaging around 5 points. Well, actually, around 6 points per game, and close to 4 rebounds. Anthony Morrow will shoot the three. Yeah, he's averaging close to 6 points per game. But my favorite part of this trade is think about the buckets McDermott will be getting with Russell Westbrook. Oh my God, that is awesome. That sounds awesome. Oh man, I cannot wait. Okay, so here, I think they played tonight, or maybe they didn't play with the Thunder tonight. I don't know. I have to look up highlights later. Next trade we got on the notes. This was one of the earlier ones. It was Nerlens Noel getting sent to the Mavericks for Bogut and Justin Anderson in a first-round draft pick. So, good trade for the Mavs. They got a good player in Nerlens Noel. His future with the 76ers, there was all the rumors surrounding it because they got all those centers and power forwards, and he finally gets traded. And I like the team where he landed. You got some younger guys there like Yogi Ferrell. Seth Curry's getting really good minutes there, playing pretty good. Harrison Barnes maybe looks to be the future. And you add in a guy like Noel with Powell. Dirk's still there. I like this deal for the Mavericks. For the 76ers, the only thing I see a bright spot about this trade, maybe Justin Anderson might do something, but that first-round draft pick. We know what the Philadelphia Sixers have been drafted. So that just feels like it's going to be something good here. Next trade, Rockets trade KJ McDaniels to the struggling, not even 10 wins yet Nets. The trade, what it does for the Rockets, it frees up $3 million in cap space, and McDaniels is only averaging around 2.8 points per game with only 7 minutes. So here's the deal. We all remember what he did in Philly when he first started. He looked like he was going to be big. What happened really, what I thought was, what it really was he was playing on a team where they were historically bad. And he had a chance to play a lot of minutes, and he was shining on a horrible team. Sorry, Philadelphia 76ers fan, that's the deal. And he goes to the Nets where they're doing about the same. So maybe he shines there as well. I didn't think he was going to shine with the Rockets. But hey, so again, now another trade. 76ers trade Ersan Ilyasova. This dude's been on the move. I believe he went from the Bucks to the Sixers and now back to the Hawks. I think that was the deal. I don't know. The Hawks give up Thiago Splitter and a second-round draft pick. Now, we'll get to the Splitter part of the deal, but I like this Ilyasova deal. Like I said, he's kind of doing the same thing over the Sixers. He's got more minutes he could play. He's getting around 14 points per game and about 6 rebounds per game. I like that deal for the Hawks. Ilyasova's a pretty good player. He does shoot the 3-ball good. And I like that for the Hawks. I really do. But here's the deal. Splitter's average around 6.3 rebounds, and he's only played like 50 to 60 games, and whatever how long he's been with the Hawks. Really, the dude barely played at all. This was great for the Hawks. Get him out of that. I believe this was the last year of his deal anyway. So, hey, I guess Hawks won that trade, I guess. So, next one, the Rockets again trade another player. They trade Ennis to the Lakers for Huertas. I think I got that right. Rockets expect to waive. How did I missay that? What the fuck? They plan to waive him. Yeah. Rockets really just freeing up a lot of cap space these last couple of this trade deadline and adding a pretty good piece. So now the Hawks again with another trade. They trade away Mike Scott to the Suns for cash. So a couple of years ago, I remember Mike Scott looked like he was on the rise, and last season he did all right. This season, honestly, I don't watch much Hawks games, but still, I thought I liked the dude. He's going over to a very young Suns team. Maybe he can help them out, I guess. They're not going to be in the playoffs, so, I mean, yeah. Now we get into the big, meaty trade. The trade that had me the most interested. Like, this was like, yeah, okay. Let's go. Lakers send Lou Williams over to the Rockets for Corey Brewer and a future draft pick. I like this deal for both sides. I mean, Lakers, they did give up maybe sixth man of the year, Lou Williams, but they did get back a guy, Corey Brewer. He can get hot and he will not miss. I mean, I think it was maybe a couple years ago he had that 50-point game, and I'm just saying, dude, get him hot, and he's pretty good. So yeah, Lou Williams now. We all know he does not have great defense, but he can damn sure score. And you add him to the Rockets, who are freaking shooting crazy amounts of threes. Him, Eric Gordon, Ryan Anderson, and James Harden. Oh my God. The threes that will be shot will be insane. Oh my, I don't know what else to say about that. That is insane, dude. I like that trade a lot. Kings send Caspi. So Kings send Caspi, which he just got waived today because he got a dislocated finger or something and needs surgery. And DeMarcus Cousins, yes. Boogie Cousins to the Pelicans for Buddy Hield, Tyreek Evans, Langston Galloway in the 2017 first and second round draft pick. We'll look at this from the Kings' perspective. There's been numerous problems with the GM and owner and that whole place there. They're not scared to move anybody. We've seen that now. They've never drafted well, so those first and second draft picks could go for waste. Tyreek Evans, who's played there before, who was supposed to be the future, never really panned out. Langston Galloway, he's alright. But Buddy Hield, okay, he's such touted as, oh yeah, he's next Curry. You don't want to put that pressure on this guy. I mean, just coming out of college, I mean, yeah, I think he'll be good, but don't put all that pressure on him. I mean, it's too much. But Buddy Hield, I understand the Kings like, yeah, Buddy Hield, let's get Buddy Hield. But I don't really know. Has he panned out? Has he been that good has he been pretty good this season? I'm a big basketball fan, but I don't watch much Pelicans games. So I don't know. But if you think about DeMarcus Cousins, there was, I think, one of the video packages during the skills challenge where he's like, yeah, I'm planning on signing a big max extension with the Kings. I want my jersey retired in Sacramento. Damn, the next day if he doesn't say that, and he gets shipped out. That was shocking, and I fell asleep early. And I missed the whole deal when it went down. I think that would have been cool. But so let's get into the next portion. We're gonna grade all of these trades. So the Suns send PJ Tucker to the Raptors for Joe Sullinger and 2 second-round draft picks. Raptors get a B out of me just because PJ Tucker's a solid player. And they give up a guy who really doesn't do much and is going to help them in the long run. The Raptors get Serge Ibaka. Love the deal. I'm going to give it a B+. I'm a little hard ranker, but I don't give out A's easily. They give up Terrence Ross. That's why I give him a B+. Terrence Ross was, I think, going to be a good player. The Magic. You get a C because I did not like the whole Victor Oladipo thing. I'm so pissed about that, but hey, I guess it's all right. The Dougie McBucket and Taj Gibson sent to the Thunder for a 2017 and 2018 second round draft pick for Cameron Payne, Joffrey, and Anthony Morrow. The Thunder get an A. I have to say it because they needed to build around Russell Westbrook, get him more pieces. Yeah. They didn't give up much to get him either. I mean, what they gave up was worth it to get back Doug McDermott, who can shoot the three, and get back a great defensive presence to add to Steven Adams. It's great. I love it. The Bulls, though, I'll give them a B because, their intentions on Cameron Payne being a star in the future and everything, and getting back a three-point shooter in Anthony Morrow. I guess it's all right. And I'll give them a B. I say C plus. Take the B away, C plus. So the 76ers deal, Noel to the Mavs for Bogut and Justin Anderson in the first round draft pick. The 76ers get a C plus because really, what was the whole reason of drafting Noel if you had the plan and it went all along? And yeah, his whole future there was, we all know it was going to go away. But I gave him the C plus because they get the first round draft pick. They're probably gonna. They didn't have time to flip Bogut. Who knows what happens to him? And Justin Anderson seems like he might turn out to be a little good. So Noel though to the Mavs, I give it a B plus. That was great, dude. They got a great player back in that trade. The Rockets and KJ Daniel trade. The Rockets get an A. I mean, they're just freeing up cap space. I don't know if I really should even grade that one. The Nets though, I guess they get a C or whatever. KJ McDaniel's not that great, but so the Sixers deal with the Hawks. The Hawks, you get a B plus from me. You get a B plus. You gave up somebody who's done squat for you to get a guy who's almost averaging 15 points to add to the trade because you're trying to get back to the playoffs again this year. I believe they're in the 5th spot. I like this deal for the Hawks. I really do. Sixers. What were you thinking? You get a 2nd round draft pick, but what they're doing is they're freeing up minutes for that player, Dario Saric. I cannot say the new name, but that's pretty good. So I give him a C plus on that just because of the fact that you need to give that guy time because I feel like he was going to pan out to be pretty good. The Rockets trade into the Lakers. I don't know. Just give him all F's because I really don't give a crap. Hawks trade Mike Scott to the Suns for cash. I'm not going to rank those little 2 trades, so I don't really, just retake those back because I really don't know how really to rank those. The Lakers and the Williams to the Rockets for Corey Brewer and a future draft pick. Lakers, I don't know. This was tough. This is tough to grade. I mean, I think the Rockets get a B. Maybe the Lakers get a B. I mean, I like both players, so I could just give them Bs. I really do like the Lakers got a draft pick, though. Lou Williams is going to do great with the Rockets. B's all around. More than I ever got on my card. And here we go. Kingston, Caspian, Cousins to the Pelicans. Pelicans, you got to get an A from me, but you got to clap for them. What they gave up to get it. Maybe an MVP. I love Boogie Cousins is great. Clap for them all around. That was good shit. Kings, you can't fucking see, dude. You barely got back anything. I mean, the only thing I'd be happy out of this trade is Buddy Hield. You get a C. You gave up your best player. And you get back Buddy Hield, and you don't even know if Buddy Hield's going to turn out to be that great. I mean, I hope he does, but who knows if he does turn out to be that great. So, that is it for the trade deadline special. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you got any grades, if you think my grades were a little bit crappy in your opinions, let me know what you would give it down in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, and I am out. Thank you so much for watching.